Well, now we're heading into the MLB playoffs here as 12 teams remain in the postseason here, but only one can be crowned as champions. As we bring you into our MLB playoff panel, I'm Adel Ahmed. Alongside, I have Mr. Thomas Wildman here to talk some baseball here. Now, Thomas, we're going to just go right into it. We're going to start off with the wildcard teams. There's 4 different games going on, starting on Friday. The biggest one of all right here in Canada is the Blue Jays and the Seattle Mariners, both teams facing each other for the first time in the postseason. First time that the Mariners are back in the postseason since you weren't even born at the time when the Mariners made the postseason last time. So just talk to me about the opportunity that presents itself for both the Blue Jays and the Mariners in this series.
Well, yes, the Mariners and the Blue Jays have both been rebuilding. The Blue Jays for considerably less time than the Mariners, as of course they haven't made the playoffs since 2001, which was quite a long time ago, over 20 years, more older than me. But in terms of looking at both these teams right now, we've got the Jays and the Mariners, who both are younger teams who still maybe could get even better as time goes on. I don't think this is the peak, but these teams are really great. First, looking at the Jays, they've got an all-star pitcher in Alek Manoah. They just recently acquired him, and he's been playing outstanding. Excellent starter. He will be starting game 1. Then in terms of otherwise, they've got some elite batting, and the Jays, that's one of their strengths, some real great power bats. Of course, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., a player who was around the last time his father was around when the Mariners last made the playoffs. But Vladimir Guerrero Jr., absolutely amazing power bat. He's an all-star this year. Bo Bichette wasn't an all-star this year, but is a great shortstop and was an all-star in 2021. Alejandro Kirk, one of the best catchers in the league, an elite player. And of course, George Springer, he won a World Series in 2017 with the Astros. Of course, there's a bit of an asterisk next to that, but he's still an elite player and an elite veteran. In terms of the Mariners, they got Louis Castillo. He's an amazing starter. They traded for him during the trade deadline, and he's going to get the start in that first game. He's been great this year. Robbie Ray was a former Jay. He's been an excellent starter as well for them. And then we've got Cal Raleigh, who is a really great player as well. He clinched the playoffs for the Mariners with his walk-off home run. And then they've got the rookie Julio Rodriguez. He's one of the young stars, one of the most intriguing stars in the league right now, and Eugene Suarez. But both of them have been dealing with some injuries, and that's going to hurt the Mariners' batting. And overall, while I think the Mariners may have a stronger pitching staff overall than the Jays, I think the Jays' power bats will get them the win. I think they will win both their games with that home field advantage, both in Rogers Center, and we'll take this series in 3 games.
Shifting to another wildcard series is the St. Louis Cardinals and the Philadelphia Phillies. The Phillies making the playoffs, back in the postseason action for the first time in over 10 years. Just when you look at that series, the matchup between St. Louis and Philadelphia, what do you kind of make of that opportunity for both teams, and just who do you feel like can come out on top in that series as well?
Well, you got to give the Cardinals a lot of credit. They've just signed and gotten a lot of great players. Paul Goldschmidt is, of course, a great all-star. He had a bounce-back year. Albert Pujols, also acquired from the LA Angels. He was, of course, a Cardinal, and that's where he made his name for himself. He's had an absolute bounce back, 700 home runs for him now, and he certainly will make the Hall of Fame one day. And then, of course, Nolan Arenado, acquired from the Colorado Rockies. He's an MVP candidate right now this year, and so he's going to really solidify that Cardinals lineup. An absolute power lineup, amazing lineup. And then Ryan Helsley is one of the best relief pitchers in the league, and that will help the Cardinals a lot. In order to take it down the Phillies have been dealing with injuries, especially to their key player, which is Bryce Harper. He's an insane player, an MVP candidate, but he's been dealing with some injuries this year. JT Realmuto is a really great catcher in the league right now. There's Aaron Nola and Kyle Schwarber, of course, also helping out the Phillies. But I just think the Cardinals have them beat in power and a little bit better in that defensive play. So I think the Cardinals are going to take it in 3, though I think the Phillies could get something done when they're at home.
Well, lastly, just before we wrap it up here, Thomas, your World Series prediction winner. Who is it going to be?
I'm going to go with the Dodgers. They've been the favorite for a long time. I really like the chances of the Braves, but just Mookie Betts and Freeman, and of course their great pitching staff. They're good from top to bottom, great on defense, great on offense. I just can't really see. I think the Dodgers are the very obvious favorite, but there's some great teams in the AL to take them on in the World Series, and of course great teams that they will have to beat in order to get to the World Series as well.
All right, you heard it here first from Mr. Thomas Wildman. It was his prediction for the World Series. MLB playoffs will begin on Friday with 4 wildcard games taking place. That is a wrap for our MLB playoff panel. Thank you so much for tuning in.